Well, I gave you my heart and I gave you my soul. That ain't enough, well, you want more, like riding on an ancient wall. You're that mystery that I'll never solve. Yeah, you're everywhere. Yeah, you're everywhere. Yeah, you're everywhere, but you're just not there for me.
Everybody has different roles, and particularly among the four guys that are recording right now, that are sort of in the thick of it right now, it's pretty collective in that everybody's sort of swapping roles. You know, sometimes people are, you know, it sort of depends if, you know, if you're playing or if you're listening. So everybody's got, you know, puts their 2 cents in about things, you know, solos or, you know, how the song is structured, things like that.
That was a really nice one.
Picks up a little towards the end of the solo.
There's a couple of spots, yeah, but
it could be good. Like if the solo sort of leans up a bit towards the end of it, then it'll work. It's kind of a nice energy thing. It has to be.
1, 2, 3.
But it's really good. You know, my role is, first of all, you know, when we're actually recording, my role is to do a really good drum take, and that's solid and musical and plays the song first and foremost. And in order to be able to do that well, everybody else in the band has to have their parts focused as well. So yeah, like, you know, so part of my role is to help make sure that that's happening.
Glenn is more like a vocal guide, you know. He does a lot of. Glenn, I think that was what I was going to say earlier, was that Glenn was the sort of person this record that graded the songs. Took all the songs, said these are the songs that should be on. You should write another one. You should write another one. This is what we should do. And he was right. He grouped all the songs together that created a record.
Glenn thinks that's the album opener.
Yeah, I do. If I put on a record and heard that, I would be immediately seduced. That's what I think. It's just, you want to go there.
Just lie down and let your belly be rubbed.
Kate probably too.
Yeah. Once it's all grouped together, then it all makes sense. And Greg and I were not doing that. We were just writing songs, throwing them in, liking them all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just interested in the music. I don't even really think much about what my role is. I just think, like, well, this is what I'm interested in what's going on here. I have something to say about it, or not, you know? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So mostly my role is listening, you know, and just trying to describe what I hear so that people can take it or leave it. And we're all doing that.
Yeah, you're everywhere, but you're just not there for me. For me.
But you are very involved in that. For example, compared to, say, Baz, who doesn't sort of tend to sort of...
Well, that's only on the surface.
Basil has this function that sort of started with 5 Days in July, where Basil has a very uncanny sense of when we've got to take. So we all do all the discussion. Basil's usually very quiet, doesn't participate in all the minute-by-minute discussions.
The part that's there is basically a rhythm part.
Yeah. Well, I just know what there doesn't take me home. You know what I mean? It's got to take you home.
But you'll see when we get closer, when we think we're closer, and then we'll all look at Basil and say, you know, did we get it? And Basil will say, yeah, that's the one. And also he sort of, you know, he'll hear a take and realize that it is, even if we go on, we'll say, no, that's second. So he's got a good knack about that.
My contribution usually comes in musically, although I have been known to say to Greg, I really don't like that lyric line, you know. And he does, for better or worse, you know, say that song is not my favorite. You have 10 here, that one, you know, I don't think it's that great. So, you know, I can contribute in all of those different ways.
Basil chooses his moments a lot more carefully. He's sort of really good at that. So he generally will sort of stay quiet. But when he has something to offer in terms of a criticism or a suggestion, it's usually pretty deep and usually really changes the song. You know, for example, in the last song we just did, bitter fruit. You know, he was really wanting to get Greg to like put in this certain diminished chord, you know, and it was like, it seems like a very small contribution, but it really sort of changed the whole, just made the song have more finesse, have more, tell more of a story, just kind of, just changed the whole thing a bit and made it a little more special, you know, so he kind of, he just sneaks his things in like that. He's a little more zen about it than I am. I'm sort of like the carpet bombing type approach when it comes to suggestions, you know.
Well, I don't know, like, I just, like, when I listen to that song, I just want to hear the song take off there.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I think you should be leaning forward on
I don't want to
that.
hear a restraint.
Shouldn't be legato.
You know, I want to hear a taste, but it's got I should really take it out. Like, that's a really together track, and like, that's what I mean, like, you compare that to Secret. It's just that much more honest. That's why I'm not sold on Secret. But again, maybe that.
Okay, let's carry on.
So you don't hear horns on that one?
No.
I don't think anymore. I think that the horns are, like, there's a certain style
Just
that we're establishing that's
To hear the whole record,
pretty full.
Yeah. Well,
The horns would be so, I mean, it would, you know,
The horns would be a color thing, you know, just a few lines here and
But then
there.
we're gonna have like all these bumps on the record rather than a continuous sound.
like, if you hear the whole record, you'll understand.
Bumps, you're gonna have.
yeah, you know, things that stick out.
Oh, I see.
Explain to me your role in these recording sessions.
Well, I think I'm the colorist, one of the colorists anyway. The record we're trying to make here is one that's not necessarily focused around keyboards as much as it's focused around guitars. I think what's been accomplished up until my arrival has been really good. It's turned out quite nicely. We're all quite happy. The tracks sound really good. The stuff that I've laid down so far in the few songs I've played I think, has enhanced the songs and coloristically. For instance, instead of like playing, you know, all the way through a song, I'm playing only in parts of a song. Or in something like, there's one really nice ballad of Jim's called Sad Nights, where the basic groove is. Which by itself on piano sounds really nice, but I'm only going. And that's all the song really needs from the piano.
So the second one should be the same as the first. Yeah. Right? Get it, James?
The second.
The first one is perfect. Dun, 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 dun. And then the second one again. Dun, 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 dun. Don't hold a note through that. Dun. Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. I mean, you just do what feels right. And for this album, it felt right, you know, just to record the four chord members first, get those things down, get things locked in, and then add the keyboards coloristically wherever we feel it's necessary. I think that actually this process has worked really well for us this time around.